Hey Star Wars fans, today we have a Camtono case from Disney. So this is from Shop Disney. I think they sold out in, I don't know, maybe an hour or something like that. But what we have here is the case that they use to carry around Beskar and Mandalorian, or some credits and Book of Boba Fett. But think of it as kind of like a storage case slash safe, right? So we put in our secret code. It's a 6-digit code of 1, 2, or 3. The first code on here is 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And that is where we can store our stuff. So then we just lock that back up, close these, and then your credits are safe. So this looks actually really good. I mean, for a mass-produced prop from Disney World, I zero complaints from me. I think that they did an excellent job with this, especially with the lights, the electronics and all that. Super cool, and the fact that the doors open on their own and everything. But I want to make it just a little more screen accurate. I don't know if that's the right word, but I wanted to weather it a little more. But if you take a close look, you can see there is a decent amount of, it looks like kind of a black acrylic wash, just kind of, I don't know, just kind of thrown on here a little bit. And we do have what looks to be like little chips and things, which is super cool. I have to commend Disney for what they did, because I think they did a really good job. But now I just want to make it look even a little more worn and tattered, and then I'm gonna send this off to a buddy of mine, Mr. Kyber Daddy himself, Jesse over at Kyberphonic. So we're gonna weather this up for him. What I'm gonna use is a combination of a whole bunch of stuff. I'm going to use some acrylic paint to do a wash over the whole thing, because this looks just a little too white. I am gonna do some yellows and browns to kind of make this look like it's been aged. And then I'm going to use some oil paints and naphtha to water it down, to thin it out, I mean. And then we'll put the oil paints on here, and we'll let that get into all the little corners and crevices and recesses of the piece here, just to kind of let that build up, look a little grimy. And then I might try this. I learned this from Off Earth, using some alcohol inks. So what you can do is you can airbrush, or you could probably even paint on some alcohol inks, and then give it a shot of alcohol, and it kind of reactivates the ink, and then it dries in such a way that it almost gives it like water spot effect. So I might try that too. I've never done it before, but yeah. So anyway, I'm just gonna film this. I'm not gonna talk through it, and then I'll play it back in a faster speed, try to make a smaller video. My last video loaded to YouTube was like 40 minutes, so we'll just do a time lapse. But yeah, there we go. Let's get started.
So I started off by scuffing the whole prop up with some Scotch-Brite pads. I did also grab a 220 sandpaper, because I wanted to give it just a couple of heavier scratches in a couple areas, because I figured if I did a black acrylic wash later, those scratches would kind of grab it and, you know, show up the scratches really well later. So I didn't go over the whole thing with the 220, just, you know, here and there, just to let those scratches come out later. But then I started with a yellow acrylic wash. I mixed up some yellow, a little bit of white, and I think maybe just a touch of gold in there. Me and Jesse were talking about this before making it, and we really wanted it to have that aged look that it had like in The Mandalorian. It was just a little too white from Disney, but again, you know, I think Disney did a really good job of what they made for, you know, a mass-produced prop. But I think this color here is, you know, where it started to look a little more aged and look a little more, I shouldn't use the word screen accurate, because it really isn't screen accurate at all. This is just, you know, that's just our interpretation of the color on screen of, you know, what we watched from The Mandalorian. But I ended up doing that yellowish, goldish wash on it a bunch of times. one time it got actually a little too yellow, so I did more of like a whitewash over it, and you can see I have a fan blowing on me because it's like 90 degrees in my garage right now, and it I ended up doing an acrylic wash to my GoPro video. So in a minute here, I'll wipe off the lens, but sorry about the foggy video here. This is when I got into the oil paint, so I mixed up a little bit of burnt sienna and what is it, Mars Black, I think, the Master Touch colors. Thin them out with some naphtha, and then kind of put it in all the little corners and crevices, and you know, I let it drip out a little bit and then just wipe it off. And then I ended up taking my chip brush, just a, you know, really ratty brush, and putting that in that oil paint, and then just kind of putting little specks of grime and dirt and stuff all over the piece, and then I'd, you know, wipe it off a little bit, or I'd do another that milky yellow acrylic wash over it just to knock it back a little bit, so it wasn't as, you know, dramatic looking. It wasn't just like black on white, so it all kind of starts to pull together a little bit. And then after that, I got into my absolute favorite part with this, and that was when I decided to use the alcohol inks in my airbrush. I used a, gosh, I think it was called a caramel color ink, and I just airbrushed around every little edge that I could think to airbrush around. So a lot of the same places where I'd done the oil paint, but then I also went all the way around the doors, and it kind of gave it this almost like burned, singed, kind of toasted look around everything, which was definitely my favorite part. And then we weathered the inside and the soft parts. I used the airbrush around all the edges, and then I did a black acrylic wash over all the soft parts to let it collect in the little recesses. And there we go! Camtono! You know, I have a little bit of a confession to make. I don't think I've ever weathered anything before. Like, I had done I did an acrylic wash on my Boba Fett helmet, but I think that's it. Like, I made those blasters for New Type Sith, left them clean so that he could match the weathering to his cosplay, and I made that EE3 blaster for Darth Rage, who happens to love weathering props, so I left it clean so he could weather it. Yeah, so I haven't really made stuff that's weathered, so I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. I have to admit, I think it's just a little too yellow, just a little too golden yellow. It could probably use like a white acrylic wash on it a couple times just to lighten it up a little bit, but I showed it to Kyberphonic last night, and he's like, dude, you nailed the color, so I'm gonna leave it as is. But yeah, this was a super, super fun project, weathering this thing. I did weather the soft parts inside a little bit, and down around all the edges and everything, so I think this should look good even while open, because I know Jesse's got a whole bunch of Beskar bricks and Republic credits and the, what is it, the Calamari flan or Calamari flan, the whatever that planet Admiral Akbar's from. But yeah, so I think he's gonna throw them in here and display that in his display case. But yeah, dude, I really hope you like it. Super fun project, and yeah, I'll get that off to you later today. But hey guys, thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out. Really appreciate you staying to the end. Just one thing I wanted to mention quick is I'm like roughly 50 or so subscribers away from hitting 500, which I'm going to then give away a Mandalorian helmet. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please click the subscribe button, click the bell, and you'll get notifications and new videos when I upload them. And yeah, I guess that's it for today. Hey, thanks for watching. May the Force be with you all, and I'll catch you in the next video.